Oh, hi, this is Ram again. I'm going to show you one quick last demo to show you how to configure private DNS resolver. And before I get into the details, let me explain the need. So our end goal actually is to create, deploy Oracle database that is compliant with the MAA architecture, right? So I got two regions, Virginia and Phoenix. I have a primary database here and I have a standby database here. Now, to do this, you have to go through a bunch of steps. First thing is you need to configure what's called peering, VCN peering. So after you create this VCN, right, with a public subnet and a private subnet, and the public subnet, assume that you're going to run a client application in this particular subnet, and you're going to be running the database here, and you're going to create the standby database here. So before you do that, you need to configure peering. And for learning how to do peering, you watch this video. Essentially, peering allows to move the data traffic, right, from Virginia region to Phoenix region and vice versa. So that's the whole idea of peering. Otherwise, by default, you cannot access a resource or a compute or a database in another VCN, whether it is within the same region or another region, they need to be peered. And there are a few steps that you need to go through, and that is explained in this video. So I recommend that you watch this video, all right? So assume that we have done the peering, and then the next thing is we are going to create a primary database in here, right? We are going to create a primary database in Virginia. And after that, we are going to create a standby database. And I have created a video on how to do that. So that video you can watch. It's fairly straightforward. Once you configure the VCNs and also the peering is configured, then it's very, very easy. So that's what you will learn from the. Now, assume that you created the primary database and the standby database. And these databases have their, each node has a private IP address. So for example, the node 1 is 10.0.1.108, the node 2 is 10.0.1.08. All right, and this database, a RAG database has the scan name. This is the fully qualified domain name, and it also has the scan IP addresses. So same thing on this side. Now, from the Virginia region, if you have done the peering and all that, you can access these IP addresses. That's not a problem. But if you want to access the scan name using this the domain name, like you want to access the scan name directly, the VCN will not resolve it out of the box. That's not the default behavior. You need to do the configuration. So that's what I'm going to go through the steps. What are the steps? Here are the steps. Number one, on this side, on the Virginia side, at the VCN level, you need to create an endpoint for forwarding your DNS request. So that's called forwarder. And the second one step is on the Phoenix side, you need to create a listener. So here is a forwarder endpoint, and here is a listener endpoint for this VCN. That's the second step. The third step is you need to configure a rule which says if we are trying to access this domain, let's say VCN1 phoenix.oraclevcn.com, actually there should be just .com actually, then let me fix that. Then we want that to forward that request, right? So this rule basically, what it does is it tells the VCN that if I'm trying to access this endpoint, any resource with this domain, right, VCN1 phoenix.oraclevcn, it's going to forward that request to this listener. And this listener is going to actually resolve what that actually fully qualified domain name means, all right? Then after that, what you have to do is you have to allow the traffic. And the traffic is the DNS request traffic uses UDP protocol. So you need to allow egress traffic on this public subnet, right? Actually, so here, this is where we are going to be running the client. So for this one, we need the UDP, we need to allow the egress traffic. Then here we need to allow the ingress traffic on this subnet. The subnet is a private subnet. We need to allow the ingress traffic. So those are the 5 steps that we need to configure, go through. So let me show you how to do that. Step number 1 is create the forwarder. So go to, so this is my hashbound region, and this is, let's go to my VCN, and I got my VCN here, and you see there is a DNS resolver here on this, and it tells you what are the different steps and what they do. So here, I just want to create an endpoint. Actually, this I deleted. I'm not sure why it is not deleted. Let's see why I didn't go through the deletion. So I want to repeat this demo. So just give me a second. They should go through why this was not. I guess there was a rule previously, so that stopped from deleting it. Okay, now it's gone. So create the endpoint. So now it's a forwarder. So I want to call it, what should I call it? Let's call it, so let me just call it, right? So that is VCN1 A IAD, actually endpoint 1. And the subnet is going to be, I'm going to be doing another public subnet, all right? And then this is the forwarder, and what was the forwarding IP address? This is optional. So let it create. So let it create. That's what it's going to do. And on the Phoenix side, we will do the same thing, right? This is the, so here we are going to create an endpoint. So we will create an endpoint. And what is the endpoint name? So I have it. Let's use the name that so this is the endpoint name, VCN1 Phoenix endpoint 1. And the subnet is, I'm going to be using the private subnet because there is nothing on the public subnet. I created the RAG database on the private subnet. So this is going to be listening. All right. So I'm going to say create endpoint. So that is the second step. So this is going to take let's see whether this is still creating. So if you like, you can forward by a few seconds. It should be done any minute, any second actually. So it's accepted. It's creating. Let's see. Same thing here, it's happening. The Phoenix side. Okay, so this endpoint is created, and this should be created within a few seconds. Okay, so it's created. All right. Should happen. All right. Okay, it's done. So the third step is, what is the third step? Third step is create a rule, right, on the VCN. So the rule is, let's go to the Virginia region and say create a rule, which is manager rule. And yes, the rule is, condition is CIDR block, or the domain actually. So the domain is, enter the domain name. The domain name is going to be this one. So I'm going to enter the domain name. All right, VCN1 Phoenix Oracle VCN. If that happens, then pick this VCN endpoint 1. So this is the one which is going to forward. The destination IP address is, what is the destination IP address? Here we go, and this is the listening IP address. You see this one? So take that and just enter the IP address here and say save the changes. Condition must be valid DNS name. Okay, the domain name, we are following to this one. Okay, and this is option not available. Okay, so enter each domain maximum 10 domains. Okay, the rule is the RAG database here, and sure. Yeah, that's the one I want to use. Okay. Okay, not sure what was the problem, but anyhow, so it is updating the rule. So that's the one we just, so now the third step is completed. Third step is completed. Then the fourth one is we need to set up the egress rules, right, on this public domain. So go here, go to the VCN, and this is the VCN, and we got the public subnet, and we are going to set up security layers, and we are setting up the egress rule. So by default, this is already there. This is all protocols, but now we are going to set up a egress rule. That should be going to the so the egress rule for this is going to this subnet, right? So idle block is 10.1.1.0/24, and it's UDP. We want UDP, and so allow traffic to this particular cider block. Actually, I'm giving the private subnet. Okay, so that's what this one is, to the private subnet in Phoenix region. Okay, so that's the UDP traffic. That's the egress. Now I go back to the last step, right? The last step here is I need to allow the ingress traffic on this particular private subnet. So go back here, VCN, and the private subnet here, and the security layers, and I'm going to add ingress rule. Add ingress rule. Anything coming from 10.0.0/24, that's the public subnet with UDP traffic, and allow to 53. So that's what we are going to allow, right? Adding this rule. So now I should be able to access those hosts. So let's go back to, so I have a, so this is my bastion here in Virginia. So if I say say ping my RAG database on this side. So let's see what are my RAG database. So these are the IP addresses, right? And by the way, I did not show you that I have enabled. So let me go to VCN, private subnet. And if I want to allow ping traffic, right, ingress rule, if I want to allow ping traffic, CN1 subnets, private subnet, and this is a security layers. So I want to allow ping traffic. That one, we just added the ingress traffic rule. But whatever the ping traffic, so that one would be, it's already there, by the way. I just want to show you that. So basically what this is it allows, actually allow the ping traffic. The code is actually 8. So that's what it is. And now I can go back to my Bastion on the Virginia side, and I should be able to ping my RAG cluster. So database, this is my Phoenix database, and see, so for example, I should be able to ping that traffic, ping that IP, right? So that's what happens. Now, if I don't allow, now I can ping this also, right? I should be able to show this scan name. I should be able to ping that also. All right, you can see I'm able to ping that as well. Now, just to show you that ping is not allowed, so if I go back here, VCNs, if I don't want to allow ping traffic, so the list here, case, see this one, if I take out this, for example, if I remove this rule, I won't be able to ping, all right? So that's, just want to show you that, right? I cannot ping that. So that's the reason we need to add, if you like to ping, okay? So add ingress rule, you can say 10.0.0.24, and I want to allow ping traffic, ICMP, that is ICMP traffic. So allow ping traffic. So now I should be able to see it's allowing it. Similarly, another thing I want to show you is here, ingress rules. See that UDP traffic? If I don't allow UDP on 53, let's edit that just to make it edit. Just change it to, let's say, 5300 or something. Allow private DNS resolver traffic, right? Now it has to be 53, otherwise you will not be able to resolve. So if I try to ping this from Virginia side, it will not work. See that? It will not work. It has to be so 53. So that's what that one is. Save that. So now I should be able to ping that. Okay. See that? So hopefully you like the demo. And I'm going to stop here. And actually, I'm going to show you a little more. So you remember our demo, RAG demo. So here we were using the scan IP name. Remember that? So now we should be able to change this to the actual domain name. So go to RAG database in Phoenix. here, get the scan. All right. Just slow it. Database. Okay, I got that. So now I got the actual fully qualified scan name. So copy that and save it here. So I got I didn't copy the scan name. That's a host when I copied. So this is the scan name. I should copy here. So that is my Phoenix scan name. And so that's good. Then I should be able to run my, let me create the TNS names.aura, create TNS names.aura, see that? So now I got the, so I got that. I should be able to connect to the databases even after switchover. So currently the Phoenix database is standby. I think it is database. It is a standby database. So let's do go to Virginia, go to the database, and I should be able to, this is the database, and I should be able to do a switchover actually. See these data card connections, and I should be able to switch over, right? So that it's asking for the, again, if you don't want to watch this demo, you can skip, but I just want to switch over to the standby database. This is going to take 2 to 3 minutes, I guess. And the request. So it just started. So now, after this is completed, we should be able to do connect to the database. So if I go here, list PDBs, right? So if I go here, DNS.aura. See that I have the scan name, basically it's a fully qualified square DNS name for the scans. And I can ping, I think I already showed you that I can ping this scan here. So now I should be able to access that Phoenix database easily. So let's go here. We'll see. Let's see whether my database is switched over. Yeah, not yet. Still updating. Okay, again, this is going to take a couple of minutes. So if you like to fast forward, you're welcome to do that, right? It says 0% complete, but actually it comes back and says 100% completed. So this is not really proportional to the time elapsed, but it should happen very soon. All right. We'll see the same scenario here also, because this is the standby database is going to become primary now after the successful switchover. All right. So this is primary currently. This is standby. Okay, 16:08 UTC. It's already 3 minutes, so maybe another 2 minutes. Actually, for whatever reason, and the DGMGRL does switch over much faster. So I think this interface is a little slower. So it's better to use DGMGRL, data guard broker interface. Yeah, again, as I said, you can fast forward if you like. Let us see whether we can connect to the database. Let's see that. Connect to any database. Currently, it is doing switchover, so you may not. All right. Oh, it's connected. It's connected to the Phoenix database. So it's completed. So now you can see this is probably completed. Okay, see that it's completed. Now, if I go to Phoenix database, oh, sorry, this is the Virginia database. Now it should say that it is standby database. You see that? And if I go to the Virginia Phoenix database, it should say it is primary now. So that's a thing, right? Now I can run my swing bench workload also if I want to. So this is the swing bench workload. Just one last thing. Just want to show you. Actually, the configuration file is still having the IP address, not the actual fully qualified name. So create schema. Okay, this file, see that? Now it has got the fully qualified DNS name. So scan name, I mean. So let's do that. And so it generates the configuration file. Now I can create the workload. So this is the workload we are going to run. So now it's going to connect to the Phoenix database. All right, that's the primary, new primary. Now, if I want to do row count here, I can do the same thing. See that it's connecting to, so it's using the TNS names.ora. TNS names.ora. So, it is actually, I need to generate the TNS names.ora here. So let me do that. This is the one. Okay, so TNS names.ora. So I got with the names, very good. So now if I want to know list PDBs, I can do that. That's on the interesting thing. Let's workload we created, a configuration file we created. We are running the OLTP workload in the Bastion window. Now we can do, this is a second Bastion window. So copy this and run it here, right? So now it's going to actually connect to the standby database. Standby database is in Phoenix, so it is a bit slow, but you can see it is 170,000, 114 customers. So let's run it again and see what happens. I mean, that should go up essentially, right? $461, that was 114. So you see what's happening. Is 328, 714, 329, 662. So, and same thing with our items. So, all right. So hope you like the whole demo. With this, thank you very much for your time. You have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.